Hi, I'm Nathan Garcia, and I want to welcome you to the Financial Freedom Summit. I'm so excited to be with you here today, live streaming from Annapolis, Maryland. And if you've ever heard that live streaming is easy, you may want to check that source, because we have been racking our brains here to get it live. But we are up and running, and we'll be showing you our slides. We'll be bringing in guests. If you have any questions, then we have a live chat, and we have the lovely Kim Clark here who will be helping us with answering the questions. So make sure that you put in some comments, and if it doesn't sound great to you, please let us know. I'm a certified financial planner by training. I am not a production specialist. So I've been wearing that hat, and that's why we've been about an hour late. But appreciate you being here with me today, and I'm really excited for the information that you are going to gain from this event, because it's just so stressful right now for most people in America because of the economy, because of the pandemic, because of the uncertainty around what the future holds. And so I thought it was significant for this event to be held right on July 4th weekend, so that people can really take a minute to reflect and to build a plan so that they can get out of doubt, get out of confusion, and get into a plan before the end of the year. So in this training, you're going to get a lot of great information on building a financial plan, on some great technology to help you build the plan, and also how to build an investment portfolio, what to do about tax planning, in investment management, estate planning. We have all different topics that we'll be covering here today. So before we get started, I always have 3 rules for every event that I do. Rule number 1, is it okay if we have fun? You know, I told you before, it's really stressful right now with the pandemic, with uncertainty in the economy. And so there's just a lot of tension right now. Would you agree? Well, I'd like to just make this something that's easy, that's fun, and more importantly, that you can build on, right? So we're going to have a lot of fun here in this event. In fact, what I want to do is I want to start off by giving away one of my favorite books about money management. This is by Tony Robbins. Yes, the motivational speaker Tony Robbins wrote a book on money management, and it's actually one of the best ones out there because of the access that he has to some high-profile individuals. What I love about this book, even though it's heavy enough to be a doorstopper, is that it will give you a good foundation to managing your money. It talks about financial planning, it talks about savings, it talks about retirement planning, about hiring an advisor. There's a lot of great details here. Kim, do we have anybody in the chat right now? No? Okay, well, we're not going to give it away then, will we? So I told you we're going to have fun here. So rule number 1 is that we're going to have fun. Rule number 2 is that this is going to be an interactive training. What kind of training will it be? Interactive training. So the more that you give to me, the more that you're going to receive. And then finally, I come to serve. So it took a lot of effort to put this event together, not only just to get the space set up, but also to put the content available. And so what I'm going to do is help you to have a plan and to really be able to take action on that. So I'm going to introduce you to some technology that's going to allow you to build a plan very quickly, very easily, with minimal effort. And I'm going to walk you through this, but most importantly, I'm going to show you additional resources so you don't feel like you're going at this alone. In fact, at the end of this presentation, you'll understand how you can get additional help and where to go if you have questions. So with that out of the way, let's get started with 3 steps to build a freedom plan. You know, have you ever wondered what it would feel like to not have to worry about money again? Have you ever wondered how it would feel to have certainty that your finances won't be impacted regardless of what's going on in the economy, regardless of what's going on in the White House, regardless of what's going on in the stock market? Well, have you ever wondered how you'd feel to know that you could stop working when you wanted and that you weren't working that job just because you had to make enough money in order to retire? Well, my friends, would you like me to share with you how you can follow a proven process to help all of your bases so that you don't have a piecemealed plan where you're going to this specialist for taxes, this specialist for insurance, that specialist for investments, and no one's speaking to one another? Well, would you like me to show you a process that's easy, that it can be done in 30 minutes or less, so that you can have a high quality understanding of your financial well-being and where all of your assets lie? Well, my friends, you're about to discover the easy way to get out of doubt, to get out of confusion, and to get into the plan. In fact, you're going to discover an easy way that you can securely add all of your information into one portal so that you have confidence that you have put together all of your finances in an organized fashion, so that if anything happens to you, you know your family's taken care of, or if you need to meet with an advisor, you don't have to spend a lot of time getting prepared. Finally, you're about to discover how you can avoid the mistakes that so many other people have made with not being organized, with not getting professional help, and with not knowing how to take action and being paralyzed because they don't want to make the wrong decision. So my friends, I promise to you that by the end of this presentation, you're going to be more confident about your finances. You're going to feel better about the direction that you're heading in 2020. And most importantly, you're going to know how to build a solution for yourself. You see, there's a big problem facing America today. Maybe you're aware of it, but let me remind you if you're not. You know, last month we had 4.3 million people who missed their mortgage payment, right? That's according to CNN from an article that they posted on June 22nd. So 4.3 million people thought it was better to not pay their mortgage than to weren't able to pay their mortgage because of the financial situation that we're in. And it's largely because of how many unemployed people, how many jobs are lost due to the pandemic. In fact, 20.5 million people are currently unemployed as of May of 2020. And what's really challenging about that is that the average person only has about $12,000 of retirement savings. And that statistic comes from the Social Security Administration. But when you consider that $12,000 is what the average person has saved, it really puts a lot of stress and pressure and uncertainty on a household and on an individual. But you would think that as people get closer to retirement, that they are more financially secure, but the facts state otherwise. In fact, the average person between the ages of 55 and 64 only has about $45,000 of net worth. Meaning if we totaled up all of their investments, we totaled up the value, the equity of their home and all of their assets, it's still only 45 grand. Could you live on 45 grand for your whole retirement? Chances are probably not. And what's so challenging about this is that people are living longer. Believe it or not, we are increasing our lifespan, and most people should plan on living to about age 85. Many folks will live beyond that. And so we are being forced to make our assets last longer as a result of us living longer. So what is a financial freedom plan? Well, a financial freedom plan is a plan that you can use in order to have confidence that your finances are positioned in a way that you can do what you want. You know, I hear so many people that come into my office that are saying that they're just going to keep working because they're really not sure about what the future holds. So many people have uncertainty about what the best financial decision they can make, or even where they can turn in order to get help. And a financial freedom plan is going to help you with all those issues. But why do you need a financial freedom plan? Well, that financial freedom plan does more than just gives you a financial organization and a projection of what your future could look like. In fact, on a personal level, what it'll do is it'll actually help you start feeling a lot more confident. It'll actually allow you to start doing some of those things that you may have put off for years. Things like taking those trips, things like buying that second car, things like helping out your family with their college education. There are a lot of benefits that can come from having that financial freedom plan. But my friends, the time is now. You know, when's the best time to plant a tree? I'd say it's 20 years ago if you want some shade. But if you haven't planted that tree, the best time to plant it is now. And so I want to help you in this chaotic environment by getting out of doubt, getting out of confusion, and getting into a plan so that you have confidence and you can live out your dreams and you can have peace of mind going forward. So who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, my name is Nathan Garcia. I'm a certified financial planner, and for the past 13 years, I've been in the financial services industry, helping individuals build confidence and protect their wealth. And over that time, I've worked for some great companies, some of which are Fortune 100 and 200 insurance companies. I've been featured in different publications like the New York Times, like Barron's, like Investors Business Daily, and I've been able to grow my following that way. But most importantly, what I've done over the past year is build a technology called Pocket Plan that helps with getting great financial information and makes it really easy and really simple in order to build your financial plan. Are we good on audio? Okay. All right. So is it okay if I share with you a little bit about why I got started in the financial services industry? You know, so many people join the financial services industry after they've had a separate career, maybe second, third, fourth career. But I actually started when I was 17 years old. And, I started during the summer of my freshman year in college. And I had gone to T.C. Williams. If anybody has seen Remember the Titans, I was captain of the football team there. And after my freshman year in college, I decided that I wanted to do marketing. But little did I know that marketing was going and cold calling for Aflac. And so that's how I got my career. And I was able to transfer from Virginia Commonwealth University over to Virginia Tech. And that was a pretty humbling experience for me because in the third year of my college career, my mom called me in November and she said, Nathan, I was bringing some groceries up from the car. I went to go stand up, and when I did, I just had this shooting pain going down the side of my leg. And she said, I can't walk anymore. And came to find out that she actually had a pinched sciatic nerve. And she had some previous spine issues that limited her ability to recover. In fact, she had to go through surgery in order to recover. And at that time, she didn't have any disability insurance. She wasn't working with a financial advisor. She didn't have a financial plan. And she made some decisions that really set back her ability to provide for her family and put her family in a difficult situation. And so during that phone call in November, in my junior year of college, she said, Nathan, I want you to come home. She said, I think that it would be good if you came home to help me out. And I had to make that decision at that point. Do I go home and help out my mom and be the person, the quote unquote patriarch of our family? Or do I continue to finish my college degree in order to hopefully have sunnier days ahead of us? And so I decided to finish up my college degree, not only because I thought it was the best decision for me, but also because I thought I was able to help out my mother, and I was following that. In fact, since then, I've been able to achieve I've earned my certified financial planner degree. I hold my Series 6, my Series 66 license as a financial advisor. I've built 2 businesses, and most importantly, I've built a family, a beautiful family consisting of my fiance, Amanda, and our 2 sons, Bennett and Adrian. And, through that, I've learned that education and financial security really gives you freedom. And the reason being is that, so many people are struggling with anxiety, with stress, with depression as a result of their finances. In fact, a survey by the American Psychological Association in 2015 found that money was the #1 stress for working age Americans. It's also the leading cause of divorce. It's also a cause of stress that can cause you to have impact on your health, like heart disease, stress on your relationships, and just making you feel bad. So many people are facing challenges of not knowing how much is enough money. They don't know if they're going to run out of money in retirement, so they don't want to stop working. So many people just don't know if their spouse and their family will be taken care of if they pass. So many people don't know if they're going to be able to pay for health care during their retirement. But how do you measure success? How do you know that you're not going to run out of money? Is there a score of some sort that can really give you peace of mind? Well, where do you begin? Too often what I see is folks will just put their head in the sand like an ostrich and they say, things will get better. We'll figure it out. Trump will send us another check. The market will keep going up. We'll figure something out. And instead, they walk blindly right into a place where they probably don't want to be. And so I wanted to help folks out, and I've been able to put together something I'm very proud of called the Financial Freedom Blueprint. Now, the Financial Freedom Blueprint is going to help you get organized. It's going to help you get an idea of how long your money could last in retirement. It's going to help you get access to folks who can assist you on a professional basis, whether it be with building a financial plan, managing your money, or doing your taxes, building an estate plan, putting together a trust, finding insurance for you. You know, that's what the Financial Freedom Blueprint is. So the Blueprint is a comprehensive wealth management system that helps you get organized. It helps you start looking at how long your money may last in retirement. It helps you start looking at your investments so you have peace of mind of where your money is invested and how it's invested. And you can start to get an understanding of what your actual net worth is so that you are able to go into retirement with confidence. More importantly, know that you're on the right track, not just for you, but for your family. Now, candidly, the bigger reason that I'm doing this presentation, I put together this software, is because I want to help people out. You know, I want to help folks find a solution. Just, it's too difficult at this point for people to get good financial advice and to be able to trust financial advisors. I want to tell you a quick story. You know, I had a client, I don't know if she's watching or not, but she told me, this is as recent as November of last year, that the face of my industry, of the financial services industry, is Bernie Madoff. Now, if you don't remember who Bernie Madoff is, he was the guy who ran the biggest Ponzi scheme in the world, I think in history, and stole a lot of money from a lot of people. And that happened in 2008. So that's 12 years removed, and she's still saying that's the face of my industry. And the difficulty with that is that she shares a belief that many folks share, is that financial advisors don't help people. They are only out for themselves. They're not going to help you build wealth. They're just there to strip it. And as a result of that mentality, folks don't go and get help. Or if they do get help, they don't take action on that. And so I wanted to help people out, make it easy, and more importantly, give you confidence that you're getting good advice. So what's different about the Financial Freedom Blueprint? Well, this is a plan that is going to simplify your financial world. Instead of focusing on all different things, investments and insurance and estate, all you need to focus on is one number. That number is called your retirement score, and you can see it here. Your retirement score is a probability of how long your money will last over your lifetime. So you set a date. For most people, it's going to be age 85. For you, it might be 95. You might have good genes. Maybe it's 105. But you set that date as to how long you want your money to last, and we will run the calculations for you so that you understand what the likelihood of you running out of money before that end date is. The higher the score, the more confidence that you can have that you're never going to run out of money. The lower the score, the more work that you need to do. What's great about the Financial Freedom Blueprint is it puts the control in your hands. So you don't have to go to a financial advisor to have them build a financial plan for you that you can't play with, that you don't know what the assumptions are, that you don't understand how to make adjustments to. Instead, we're going to put the power of that plan right in your hand, and you're going to see that you can make adjustments like hypothetical scenarios where you look at what happens if you were to change your retirement age. What happens if you were to save a little bit more money? Or what happens if you follow your heart and you want to do something that's completely dependent on your goals and your dreams? Well, I know right now a lot of you might be thinking, well, I already have a financial advisor. I don't need another financial plan. But my friends, do you understand how your financial advisor, most financial advisors don't even build a financial plan, first of all. Second of all, if they've built a financial plan, was that financial plan to serve you? Or was it to help them sell a product? You know, so many people say, well, I can do a financial planning on my own. I have Vanguard, I don't need a financial plan. But my friends, do you understand the assumptions that are going into those projections? Do you understand how the inputs could impact the outcome? Probably not. You know, so many people are afraid. They think that, well, I just don't want to make the wrong decision. But my friends, you will be able to make strong, smart decisions when you have confidence, and it's really easy just looking at your retirement score. So let's get into 3 steps to build financial freedom. You know, the first step to building financial freedom is to just get organized. You know, too often I see people who don't have their finances organized. I don't know if you remember this, Kim, but we had a client who came in one time. She had been with us for 6 months, and she brings us a statement from an IRA that she had at one of her first jobs, and it had $40,000 in it. And she says, I just completely forgot about it, and I finally opened up this statement. Now, it was 6 months, it was $40,000. To me, it seemed like a lot of money that I would want to keep track of, but so often I see that folks just don't have organization. And as a result, they're putting themselves or putting their family in jeopardy. So we want to help you get organized. Next, we got to keep current information. You know, in today's environment, things are moving so quickly that if you don't have current, up-to-date information, your odds of making smart financial decisions have just gone down significantly. So we want to keep good, current information. Finally, we need to build a longer-term plan that has a goal of never running out of money in retirement. And so a longer-term plan is going to be more focused on strategy. What's the strategy? To never run out of money in retirement. Now, in order to get to that goal, we can use different tactics like different investment portfolios, different retirement dates, different spending amounts, different investment products. There are a lot of different tactics we can use, but without a good strategy, you're going to find yourself spinning your wheels, and odds are you'll make a mistake. So how do we start with getting organized? Well, the first thing that we need to do is we need to gather all of our essential information. Now, I know that this sounds so easy to gather all of your essential information, but really, what are your essential documents in order to have financial security? I'm going to share that with you here in just a minute. Next, we want to organize that information by the topic. So we want to make sure that it's really easy to find the relevant information. If you need to find your IRA beneficiaries, if you need to find your estate plan, you want to have that information quickly available so that you or a member of your family can access that very quickly. Finally, we want to share that information with the stakeholders who are involved with your decision making. Now, that might be folks like your attorney, it's probably, hopefully, your spouse, it may be your financial advisor, your business partner, what have you, but you have to share that information with folks in a secure way, and we'll show you how to do that. So, what are your essential financial documents? Well, it starts off with your retirement accounts. If we're looking at building financial security and building a financial freedom plan, we want to start with what often is the biggest amount of money that people have saved, and that tends to be in their 401k accounts. So it doesn't matter if it's your current employer or your former employer, we want to make sure that we have all those statements prepared and easily organized. Next, we want to grab your IRA accounts, your individual retirement accounts. Your IRA accounts are where your old 401k from that job that you had 20 years ago, stop keeping that money in that 401k unless it really makes sense. More often than not, what you'll end up doing is putting that money into an IRA. And so we want to have one IRA that has all of your investments, if possible, listed so it's really easy to find. Next, we want to get your bank accounts, any checking, savings accounts. We want to make sure that we understand where those are, who has access to them. And then any liabilities that you may have in terms of your mortgage, in terms of your credit cards, auto loans, student loans, all of those liabilities need to be listed. And finally, we want to, and then next we want to have your insurance. So your property insurance for any assets that you own, your life insurance for your family, your health insurance, and any other types of insurance that you may have. And then finally, we want to have your estate plan. Your estate plan is going to consist of the documents required in order to make good financial decisions, but also to make sure that your family is taken care of when you pass. So what are the essential documents themselves? Oh, sorry. They'll also include your deed and your title. And one of the easiest ways that I've found to get all this information organized is to simply make sure that you have all the login credentials to those accounts. I use this tool on a daily basis. It's called LastPass, LATPASS. LastPass is a great tool for you to organize all of your passwords. It's kind of like keychain if you have Apple. But what's great about it is that you can access it on your mobile device or on your desktop, and you can put passwords in it. You can also put sensitive information like a social security number or information that you only want to be shared between you and your spouse. That can all go into LastPass. So you can share passwords with folks. You can pull it back really easily. But what I've found is that after using it for just about 3 months, I had over 400 passwords from all the different accounts that I have across the internet. And what's great about that is that they generate the strong passwords for us, and they allow me to access it either on desktop or phone. So I would encourage you to look at LastPass if you're not already using it as a starting point in order to get organized and put that information that I've told you into LastPass. Next, we want to sort your information by the topic. So this can be topics like your taxes, like your investments, your insurance, your estate plan, any social security information that you might have, pensions or business. That all needs to go into a central place. So I want you to think for a minute. If I told you to go grab that information right now, how long would it take you to get it together? Odds are it'd probably take you at least a few hours. For many people, it's probably a couple weeks. How do I know? Because that's how long it takes for many of my clients when they come in to meet with me. They say, hey, give me a couple weeks to get all this stuff together. So instead, what you could have is an organized system that shares where all of your assets are, where all your liabilities are, where all of your income is listed, how much the amount, not only now, but also in retirement from your social security, your pension. Also can share your insurance, so your property insurance, your life insurance, your health insurance, all can be accessed. And then finally, your estate plan. You know, organizing all of that information in one place, especially online, is going to give you the ability to access it wherever you are. We live in a global economy now, and so if you are dependent on paper, then you're going to limit yourself going forward. So we want to help with avoiding having those physical documents, have them all compiled in one place, and make it really easy for you to grab that information and, more importantly, to share it with the folks who need to help you make these decisions. So who are your stakeholders? Well, hopefully it's your spouse who is sharing the information with you. Often it's going to be a beneficiary. That could be your kids, it could be a trust, it could be your church. There are a lot of different beneficiaries out there. But then also you'll have your professionals, like your accountant, like your attorney, like your financial advisor, maybe even your business partner. Those are all folks who are going to have a stake in your financial well-being. You know, your financial world looks something like this, where you sit in the middle as the hub, and you have all of these different parties who help you make decisions. Might be your banker, might be your broker, might be your employer, could be your attorney, your accountant. All these folks are going to be helping you make financial decisions. And so by having all that information in one place, you'll be able to share it with them. But you want to permission your data in a secure fashion. You know, one of the leading causes of identity theft is folks just not knowing that they're making a mistake with sharing their information. And so we want to be able to grant access to folks on a view-only basis, meaning you can see whatever I have that I share with you, but you can't make any changes to it. It's view-only, right? Next, we want to be able to take back access immediately. You know, how often do things change quickly and you say, oh, I want to grab that information back? You don't want to give somebody a physical document, especially something like a life insurance policy, and not be able to get it back if that person moved, if they don't want to return your phone call, whatever the case may be. You want to be able to pull that access back. And then finally, you want to be able to share it in a secure environment. So how have we set this up to help you out? Well, with Pocket Plan, you'll be able to not only find professionals who can help you out with that information, but also to be able to permission it so that it's view only, to pull it back very easily, and to do what we just went through there. So rule number one in building a financial freedom plan is that you have to get organized. And in order to get organized, you want to have all the right information. You want to sort it so that it's easy to digest, and then you want to share it with all your stakeholders. So does that make sense so far? Are you having fun? Would you like me to keep going? All right, well, step number 2 for building your freedom plan is to keep your information current. We want to keep all of your information, whether it be your financial data, any changes in legislation or personal changes, we want to have all of that information current. And so when we look at your finances, we're talking about things like your balance of your accounts, how much is in each account. We're talking about any changes to the funds. So if a fund has gone down significantly or it's even gone out of business, like we've seen many funds do over the past few years, you want to know about that as soon as it happens. And then you also need to know about how your portfolio has changed. Because in today's environment, we're seeing a lot of changes. We saw just this past year, in 22 trading days, the S&P 500 dropped about 30%. So you want to be able to keep all of your information current and be able to make smart financial decisions with that information. So the other thing that we have to consider are, legislative changes. As you may be aware, Congress passed the biggest stimulus package at $2 trillion in the CARES Act earlier this year. So we want to understand, how does that have an impact on how we pay taxes or how much we pay in taxes? We also want to understand how our ability to pull money out of our portfolio will be impacted. And then finally, we want to understand how our loved ones will be impacted by any of these changes. Things like the Secure Act changed for many people their ability to do a stretch IRA. So we want to understand, how we can pass money on to beneficiaries and make sure that we're doing it with the latest information. Finally, you want to know your investment incentives so that you're making smart financial decisions. You're getting the most of the opportunities that are available for you. So using your retirement score, it's really easy to understand how your current changes are being impacted. So if there's any change in the market, you don't have to go and rush over to your portfolio and look and see, what is the balance? Instead, you keep your focus on one number, your retirement score, and how well that's doing. And with that, you understand how your financial well-being is. But more importantly, that retirement score is generated using current data. So once you connect in your financial accounts, it's going to be updated on a regular basis so that you're always getting a fresh look, an accurate look at your retirement and your financial well-being. Now, the other thing that we want to do is we want to look at any personal changes that you have in your life. Today we're seeing a lot of folks who have changed careers, changed jobs. Some folks may not go back to their job like they did after the financial crisis in '08. We're also seeing changes in health, obviously with COVID. That's been a major impact for people. Changes in marriage or kids, adoption, things like that. So the second step for building a financial freedom plan is that we want to make sure that all of our information is current. And in order to do that, we're going to make sure that we're keeping up with our personal changes, keeping up with financial changes, keeping up with legislative changes so that we're able to make smart decisions in a timely manner and take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. So does that make sense so far? I hope that you're getting a lot of information. If you are, go ahead and great information. If you are, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. Let me know that you're out there. Now, the third step in building a financial freedom plan is that you need to build a long-term plan. And so what is a long-term plan? Well, it's a plan that is aligned with your goals. You have to say how much you want to spend, when you want to retire, where you want to live, all these different factors in order to what kind of lifestyle you want to have. Those are all goals that you should be able to define and speak to so that when you build a plan, you're able to build that plan around your goals so that you can measure your success. Once we've put the stakes in the ground for that plan, now we can start to pour the foundation for that house by building a strategy. That strategy is a long-term strategy where you're looking at all of your different inputs in order to make sure that you are secure and you're not going to have to jump horses, as they say, mid-ride. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to be able to test your tactics, right? It seems like every week, every month, there's some new investment, there's some new hot stock, there's some new annuity, there's an option strategy, there's Bitcoin, private investments. All these things look really attractive. But how do you know that they're actually going to fit into your plan, into your freedom plan, and that they're the best thing for you? Well, you could easily test them and see the impact on your retirement score. And if they improved your score, then maybe it's right for you. If they decrease your score, maybe it's something that you shouldn't do, right? So we want to be able to test different tactics. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to define your goals. And we want to get a very honest conversation, honest look at what you want your future to look like. How much money do you want to spend? When do you want to retire? Where do you want to live? Is it realistic to assume that you'll sell your house? How soon will you have to sell that house? You know, these are all decisions that you'll have to make in the future. You may have to make in the future. So we want to be able to understand, you know, what that future looks like. Next, we want to know how much you're going to spend in retirement. This is one of the areas that you have the most control over on your finances, but you really have to be realistic in what you're spending. And so we're looking at your budget in terms of your essential expenses, your non-essential expenses, and your savings. Your essential expenses would include things like your fixed costs, like a place to live, a car to drive, health insurance, food, gas, all the utilities, things like that. Your non-essential expenses could be things like your eating out, restaurants, clothes, entertainment. Those are all non-essential expenses. And then your savings would be any money that you put into a financial account that will be used in the future. So we need to define how much you're spending so that we can figure out how long you need your money to last. Next, we can look at when you'll retire. This is a pretty straightforward option. And then we want to look at your personal milestones. So many people have goals of, you know, visiting different countries, doing something nice for their kids or their grandkids, and their personal journeys. Maybe it's a mission that you're on. You know, we want to be able to earmark those initiatives so that we can test them in your plan. So how do we do that? Well, we start with building the assumptions. You know, we're looking at your assumptions in both, you know, the items that we looked at, but then also the inputs to do the calculation. And with Pocket Plan, you don't have to worry about any of the computation. We've done all the math for you. So you don't need to worry about doing that. In fact, you don't really need to know anything about finance because we've done all the math for you. We've made it simple for you, but we're transparent in how we do it so that if you are more technical and you understand the calculation, then you can play with the inputs and you can and get an understanding of how that has an impact on your projection. So we do this with something called My Plan. My Plan looks at your financial standing today and projects out your longevity, right? To get an understanding of how long your money will last. That probability is called your retirement score. So you can run different scenarios like spending less, saving more, retiring later. You can test all those inputs right into your plan and get an understanding of how that will impact your retirement score. So it's really straightforward. It's not something that you really need to be a finance wizard or quant or anything like that in order to do. So next, we want to build a strategy. What does a strategy look like? Well, if you've probably heard this one before, SMART strategy. We're looking at a strategy that's simple, means that we can look at it, we can understand it very quickly. It's not complicated. Measurable, meaning that we can tell if we're making progress or we need some help. Actionable, really clear as to what we need to do and when. Realistic, meaning that it is something that can be executed. It's not a 15% return on your IRA for the next 20 years. It's something that's realistic and that's grounded with facts. And then timely, is that we want to make sure that we are taking the right steps at the right times. So the big thing that I see with a lot of financial plans is it's garbage in, garbage out. You know, so often I see folks who come into my office and they bring me account statements from the year prior And that statement may have been 12 pages, but they give me 3, and oftentimes there's a little corner or something missing, and so they want me to make a projection on how long their money will last, but they're giving me garbage data. So we want to use good quality information, and we want to use a complete view of your finances so that you get the best outcome. And so we already talked about what those essential financial documents are. We want to make sure that those are all input into this model that you're building. We also want to make sure that that data is current. It doesn't make sense for you to build a plan on information that's over 90 days old. If you're going to do that, odds are, especially in this environment, that things have changed rather quickly, and so it's difficult for you to have confidence, in my opinion, if you're using outdated information in order to make a projection on your future. And so you want to use good quality information, good current data, so that you're able to have more confidence in the value of that plan. And then you have to use realistic assumptions. This is where you see some plans have some limitations. Some programs have limitations, is the way that they calculate inflation, the investment returns. Many plans will say we're going to get an 8% return year over year over year over year, right? Yes, the S&P 500, if you go back to 1930, has averaged about 8% of a return on average over that time frame. But that doesn't mean that your plan is going to get that type of return. You want to use a realistic assumption so that it reflects your personal situation and your beliefs. Now, in order to put in your personal information, we're just looking at things like your age, how old are you today, what is your retirement age, how much money do you want to spend in retirement, how much do you have saved right now, what are you currently earning right now, how much of your earnings are you saving, and then what should we use for a growth rate on your income. We also want to be able to, if you'd like, adjust the computation so that we can factor in what happens if we start to get double-digit inflation like we saw in the late 70s and early 80s. Or what happens if we die at age 106 instead of like age 96 like we expected. You can also make some adjustments to how the calculation is done itself. Using Pocket Plan, you have the option to do up to 5,000 iterations of your plan, meaning that we look at the investment returns 5,000 times in order to build that confidence number, your retirement score. So you have the ability to play around with that. And when you do, what you can do is you can start to test some different tactics. Now remember, we talked about a tactic being something like retiring later, saving more, spending less, or maybe an investment option. So we want to be able to look at the trial and the error of those decisions. We want to get a clear understanding of what is the impact on my retirement score, that one metric that we're going to measure, and does it improve or does it reduce my odds of success? Then we can look at the hypothetical outcomes. Looking at that retirement score, we can get a clear understanding of what are the odds of me running out of money, right? My biggest question in retirement is, am I going to run out of money? You can answer that very quickly using a scenario. And then finally, you want to implement the best recommendations. It doesn't do you any good, I don't have to tell you, it doesn't do you any good to have a great financial plan, but to not take action. But unfortunately, that tends to be what happens because folks just get overwhelmed and they tend to take action on a couple things like moving their investment portfolio or hiring a new financial advisor, but not on the full financial plan, which may include buying life insurance, getting your trust, changing the ownership. So you want to be able to take action on that information and do it with confidence. So what does your scenario look like? How do you test these things out? Well, you look at your scenario here, and what you notice are red, green, and blue. And on the right side, you've got your retirement score. So what we can do is we can test different scenarios. In this one, you're looking at retire in Cabo. I'm not sure if that's what you want to do, but it's just an example there. And the red, green, and blue are going to show you red, worst case, pessimistic outcome. So in this case, it's the worst 10% of the time. When did I run out of money? The green is the median, right? So what are the odds that I run out of money there? And then the blue is the best case scenario. So you're going to get a clear understanding of, where what your financial outcome could look like. So here's your red, this is your financial scenario, there's the pessimistic outcome. This is for folks who want to be more conservative in how they look at their plan. But I've found that this gives people peace of mind, often when they're planning, and that they at least have assurance that they know that their money will last until then. And then we want to use a dynamic model, right? It doesn't do you any good in order to make a projection of your future if you're going to keep variables like what your investment returns are the same over your 30-year retirement. It's just not realistic that you're going to get a consistent rate of return at 8% over your retirement. And so what we want to do is we want to use actual investment returns. And in your scenario, you can use the random walk model, which inputs random investment returns. So you'll have an expected portfolio that gives you the warm and fuzzy that says you're going to get 8% return each year. And then you'll have a real simulated portfolio that's looking at real S&P 500 results over different periods of time, 30-year increments, so that you have understanding of, well, how's the outcome going to vary over time? And then finally, when you need to take action, you can do it really quickly by just linking your plan with an advisor. I've seen a lot of folks who I've met with have so much better experience, have such a better experience once they have a financial plan and once they are positioned and they have the right resources in order to take action. And, they often feel like they have more control. They often feel more confident. They often feel more prepared, and they can just make better decisions. So my question to you is, my friends, will you be my next success? What would it feel like for you to be able to spend more time with your family? What would it feel like for you to be able to build memories with your kids, where you're taking them out to the beach, where you're spending time with your grandkids, where you've set up that endowment or that college fund for your grandkids? What would it feel like to be able to reconnect with your spouse after a 30, 40-year career, to be able to take your spouse on that second honeymoon or renew your vows? What would it feel like to be able to take that trip of your dreams? Well, my friends, using the Financial Freedom Blueprint, you're going to get a better understanding of how your finances are organized, how they're positioned, what your opportunities are, and where you need some help. The Financial Freedom Blueprint is really helpful because it's easy to use. You simply connect a couple accounts and we do the math for you. You get quick results as soon as your accounts are connected. Now you're going to see what your retirement score is. And that's going to give you peace of mind so that you can have financial freedom. You can spend less time on education, on looking at different advisors, on trying different tactics, and more time on building better relationships. So, the method that we use to get this outcome is called Pocket Plan. It's available on your desktop or on a mobile device. It's going to share with you your net worth and the information that you need in order to make smart financial decisions. But I need to warn you that, this isn't for everybody. In fact, if you are a little fearful of making a change and you'd rather just sit on cash and just hope that things are going to go well for you, then this isn't for you. If you're one of those folks who likes to analyze every little piece of information before you take action, then I'm sorry that this isn't for you. If you think that your financial advisor is going to have a solution for you, that you don't have to take any control over your financial well-being, then this isn't for you. But this is for you if you're looking for more independence, if you're looking for more control, if you're looking for more security, then this is going to be for you. So is it okay with you if I share with you a resource in order to get some great results? Well, I told you that the Financial Freedom Blueprint can help you put all this stuff together, but really, what does the Financial Freedom Blueprint consist of? Well, it starts off with your cash flow report. And your cash flow report is going to be a snapshot of your finances, and then a category, and then a snapshot of your finances organized so that you can see what income is coming in, what expenses are going out, and how those expenses are categorized. So we help you build a budget so that you understand what your essential expenses are, Things like your mortgage, your insurance, your loans, those are all your essential expenses. And then what your non-essential expenses are, your entertainment, your clothes, eating out, things like that. You'll get a clear understanding of what your budget looks like so that you're able to make a projection on your retirement expenses based on realistic numbers. And you don't have to go to your bank statement and go get 24 months worth of bank statements and sort through them and categorize it. You're not going to have to use an Excel spreadsheet where you sit there and input everything and have to update it manually. Instead, this is all automated. It's all secure. It's all connected into your financial accounts so that you don't have to do any work. It's already done for you. And so you can access your cash flow statement right there through Pocket Plan, whether it be on desktop or mobile, and get a clear understanding of how your expenses are broken down. But we also look at your net worth report. Now, your net worth report is that snapshot of your financial health. Just like when you go to your physician and they take your vitals, your net worth report is your financial vitals in a lot of ways. And that it tells you if you're making progress or if you're falling backwards. And so you're going to get a clear understanding of what your assets are, what your liabilities are. You understand where your cash is, what your earnings are, and then what your retirement score is. For anybody who's concerned that I'm using my actual financial information there, I do need to let you know that that is dummy information that's input, so I don't want you to get worried there. But the next thing that we want to do is we want to build a personal wealth timeline. You know, this is that projection of looking forward how long that money could last in retirement. Now, just like every financial model that's out there, it's just a model. It's just for educational purposes. It is not an absolute. In fact, if you acted on a financial plan and thinking that it's an absolute, then we should probably talk, because there is no such thing. But with this personal wealth timeline, we can run up to 5,000 trials of your assumptions and tell you what your retirement score is. And what's great is that you can make changes on your own, so you don't have to go to your financial advisor and ask them to input it. You don't have to, that's if you have a plan. You don't have to find a financial advisor to help you build a plan. In fact, you can do all that on your own before you even meet with the advisor. Next, you want to be able to look at your investment report. This investment report is going to give you a one-page summary of all of your accounts. Any investment account that you have, you'll be able to see it right in your investment report. And so your IRAs, your 401ks, a Roth IRA, an annuity, any individual stocks, brokerage account, you'll see all that information right there in your financial report. And what's so great about it is that we've not only aggregated all the information to make it really easy for you to get a holistic view of your finances, but we've also categorized your investments so you understand how much money you're holding in stocks, how much you're holding in bonds, how much you're holding in ETFs, mutual funds, options, so that you have a clear view of what you've invested in and how your money's working. But many people don't know what their future is going to look like or what they want it to look like. Oftentimes what I hear is folks say, well, what if? What if I need long-term care like my mother? What if we sell our home? What if I pay for my daughter's first year of med school? There are a lot of different assumptions, and so the scenario analyzer is going to help you to make some projections and change your variables so that you can get a clear understanding of how decisions can impact your retirement score. And so by looking at your goals and your retirement score, you're going to get smart money management. And we're not just looking at your financial well-being today, but we're actually going through age 95 in this instance. And so what you see there is your expected portfolio, your simulated portfolio. We're using a dynamic model in order to help you build these projections. So this all comes together in a technology package. Right now, today, you can access the desktop app. And if you were to do so, it's going to cost you $179 just for the desktop. But in the next week or two, we'll have the mobile app that's going to give you access to all of your information on the web, on the mobile app, so that you can pull it up on your iPhone, on your iPad, whatever the case may be. But with that, you're going to get the reports that you'd often see from a financial advisor. Many people pay their financial advisor up to $2,500 to put together a cash flow statement, to put together a net worth statement, to put together an investment statement, to put together a wealth timeline, to do the what if scenario analysis. And they pay that $2,500 without a technology package. Meaning oftentimes you don't get to go home and log into that financial plan and see what that impact of any changes are. So if all this did for you was show you how you are positioned and you had a retirement score, would it be worth it for you? If all this did for you was give you confidence that your spouse and your family would be taken care of for many years to come, would it be worth it for you? You know, if all this did was help to increase your ability to make smart financial decisions, would it be worth it to you? Well, would it be okay if I just made back the cost of my time today? You know, often we would do a retail rate a lot higher than that $24.99. But right now what I want to do is make you a special offer because this is a charter program. Well, we're just getting ready to release this app. And so we're going to make you a special offer where you can have all of the reports that I just shared with you for a low price of just $179 a month. Now, when would now be the right time to feel empowered? When would now be the right time to build your financial freedom plan? Well, my friends, I want to give you a 100% money back guarantee that you can use the technology for 60 days and build all of your reports, see how your cash flow changes, monitor your investments, play around and build unlimited scenarios. And after 60 days, you say, no, this isn't right for me. Then all you have to do is let me know and I'd happily give you a refund. And the reason that we're willing to do that is because it means more for me to have a good reputation than it does for me to have $179 a month. But that's not all, because I know that you're interested in financial education, and you know, so often it's just easy to get overwhelmed with technology. Some of you might be thinking, oh my gosh, another program. Well, I want to give you hands-on support with me personally on a weekly basis. And so what I'm going to do is set up an hour on Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. every week where we will meet and I will present to you some topics that are relevant to me. I'll show you the new features that are coming out in Pocket Plan, but more importantly, I'll be there to answer your questions so that when you get stuck, you're not calling a support line. You're not going through chat. You're not spending time on the phone. Instead, you're talking to the owner of the company and you're giving them feedback and you're getting great results. So that's a $597 value. You know, you'll have access to those office hours from next week all the way through the end of the year. So that's a $597 value to meet with me personally. So with the Financial Freedom Blueprint, you know, you're going to get your cash flow report, your net worth report, your investment report, your wealth timeline, the technology package with the desktop app and the mobile app, and the scenario analyzer, and you're going to get the bonus of the weekly office hours. It's a $597 value. That brings the total value of this package up to just under $3,100. But I know that some of you are motivated and you are ready to take action, but you're still a little unsure. And so I want to do something a little bit special for you folks and give you something that I call the monthly wealth report. You know, we have some major financial decisions that will be coming up over the next 6 months. Maybe you're unaware, but this year is an election year. There are a lot of different bills that are being presented right now, things like the Invest in America Act. We saw that, you know, the market hasn't hit a new high after it reached a point in June. So we might see a downturn in the market. There's a lot going on with the Federal Reserve. There's a lot going on with the Treasury programs. If you're not getting good quality information on a regular basis, odds are you're not taking advantage of all the opportunities that are out there. And I want to help you capitalize on these opportunities. I want to help you make smart decisions. I want to help you make give you resources so that you can make decisions with confidence without having to hire a financial advisor, without having to retain an attorney, without having to go to all these specialists just to get access to the information. Instead, I want to help you with a monthly wealth report where you'll get a mailed copy of this newsletter that'll share with you any updates that are significant for retirement or in the market, and to help you make good financial decisions. So again, with the Financial Freedom Blueprint, you're going to get the financial reports consisting of your cash flow report, of your net worth report, so that you're all organized, you understand how your money is spent. You're going to get your investment report so you can see all of your investments in one place, one portal. You're also going to get the Wealth Timeline that shows you your retirement score so that you know what the odds of success in retirement are. You're also going to get the technology package so that you can pull up your financial management tool right there on your phone, right there on your desktop, and have it with you wherever you go. It's up to date, it's current, it's accurate. And you're also going to get the scenario analyzer so that you can go through and make some changes on your own without having to go back to your financial advisor, without having to hire a new financial advisor, without having to spend a lot of time. It's really simple and easy. So you're going to get that plus the bonus of the weekly office hours where you're going to meet with me for an hour each week, over the next year, so that you don't have to worry about any questions, any customer support, things like that. You'll have access to me personally, and you're also going to get the monthly wealth report for your staying current with any legislative changes, with any tax changes, with any retirement planning changes. Those will all be presented to you in the wealth report so that you don't have to go and read all the articles. Instead, you're getting it delivered in one report. So the total value of this is $3,491. But my friends, are you worth the investment? Well, I'd say that you are. And in fact, I'd encourage you to take action now by going to pocketplan.io/go. That's www.pocketplan.io/go. And when you get there, you're going to be able to purchase this package for a risk-free investment of just $179. So if you're serious about getting this and you actually want it all for free, then what I want you to do is I want you to go to pocketplan.io/go, and once you've purchased, send me an email, and I'm going to share with you our referral program to help you get it all for free. So thank you for watching 3 Steps to Build a Financial Freedom Plan. I hope that you got a lot of great information from this. We're going to take a little break here now in order to get set up for the next segment, and we'll start at about 12:30. So thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in the next segment. It will be all about tax planning.